If you could tell your kids anything, what would you tell them?
I had told them when I was going to try to get them out of the situation that
Welcome back to Deep Dive True Crime and Mentor Lawyer Justice Network. My name is Sully, and today we'll be diving into a case that is quite disturbing. In this video, we will take you back to July 7, 2022, 2 days after the horrific events of this case took place, as detectives take the interrogation of the child victim's mother, Bianca Blaise. But before that, you'll hear from Osceola County Sheriff Marco Lopez, who will disclose the shocking reason why the child was murdered after drinking water out of a toilet bowl. As you will hear from the sheriff, this was one of the most horrific child abuse cases his office has ever handled, and certainly one of the worst cases in recent memory. The victim was a 6-year-old. He was killed inside a Kiss Me motel room in July of 2022, all because he was so thirsty and poorly cared for that he had to drink water from a toilet to avoid dehydration. What you're about to see includes parts of Sheriff Lopez's press conference outlining the graphic nature of the abuse, followed by interrogation footage where the mother, Bianca Blaise, claims that the father, her longtime boyfriend Larry Rhodes, was solely responsible for the physical beatings and the child's death. This footage is important, not just for the sake of justice, but as a reminder why protecting vulnerable children must always be a priority. We have condensed the press conference and interrogation down for your convenience, but feel free to comment down below if you would like to see the uncut version, which we'll be posting soon. Here's the press conference from August 10th, 2022.
Just want to thank everyone for being here. I'm Sheriff Lopez, Osceola County Sheriff. Behind me are some of the detectives who worked on the worst child abuse cases in the history of Osceola County. Any of us up here have ever seen. We have a veteran detective here who had never seen anything like this, what we're about to talk about today. The two people that are on the screens are responsible for the brutal murder of a 6-year-old child and the abuse of the 5 other siblings. These two suspects brought their family to Osceola County in March of this year. They rented a room, a hotel, the Knights Inn, on the west side of our county on 192. There were a total of 8 people staying in this one room. 2 were the parents, and 6 were the children. That's what they're all. That's the thing that they were in. That's the scene that moved them up to the first encounter with the child. This is how our agency got involved. On July 5th, we received a 911 call from the mother. She called saying that her 6-year-old son was drinking water out of the toilet and drowned.
As you can imagine, this case shook the Osceola County Police Department and first responders. We will now move into a condensed version of Bianca Blaise's interrogation, which took place just a couple days after the murder on July 7, 2022. We look forward to hearing your thoughts about the credibility of her statements during the interrogation.
It's my baby.
This one? You sure? Because once you open it, there's no going back. See, you're good. Okay. I know they're not real soft, but I want you to wipe them tears away, okay? But I want to make sure, I know I read these to you the other day. They're your rights. I just want to make sure you still understand them, okay? It is 7/7/2022. The time is 9:07 p.m. So obviously, I'm investigating what happened to Sergio and the boys, and I was hoping that you could tell me, what happened to Sergio the other day.
I saw him in the bathroom drinking the water. And I saw him out of the bathroom. I was getting ready to use the bathroom. I saw him out the bathroom. I told him to go to the corner. His dad had jumped out of his sleep. And he stopped him from going. And he questioned him on what he was doing. And he punched him in his chest. Punched him in his chest like twice. And then when he came out of the bathroom, he on the floor and I screamed at him. I asked him what happened. And he picked him up and he said, he's okay. And he took him to the bathroom and he turned on the shower. I guess so he could pour water to shock him with little stick feet. And I panicked and he walked right back out of the bathroom and he told me to call the ambulance. And
Did you call 911, right? Did you see when you say who hit Sergio?
yeah,
What's his name?
Larry.
Larry? Is that your boyfriend that you've been with a long time?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him hit Sergio?
I seen him punch him once.
Mm-hmm. And how many times did he punch him?
It's about twice.
Yeah.
And then he slapped him in his face. That was before the punches.
So he slapped him and then punched him, or punched him and then slapped him?
He slapped him and then he punched him. And then after one of the punches, after the second punch, Sergio fell backwards and he had like this sigh. And I started screaming, what happened? And I started screaming, what happened? And I picked him up and carried him to the bathroom. And he turned on the shower. And as he was walking to the bathroom, he said that Sergio was fine. And came back out and called the ambulance. And I called the ambulance.
When you say when that Larry carried Sergio to the bathroom, how did he do that?
Picked him up from the floor and everything else.
Do you remember how he was carrying him?
Like he had his two arms. He carried.
Was Sergio saying anything at this time?
Mm-hmm.
No. Was Sergio still awake? No.
I heard like a faint sigh come from him. I know that something was wrong.
Where were all the other kids when this happened?
They were in the room. They were laying down.
Were they all laying down
and the girl was steadily sleeping.
And which one was that again? The one closest to the door or to the bathroom?
The room to the bathroom.
By the bathroom. Is this the first time you've ever seen Larry hit Sergio or any of his siblings?
Mm-hmm. He does it often.
Yeah, can you kind of tell me about that?
When they do stuff that he feels like it's like when he feels like they're misbehaving, he hurts them. And at times he definitely takes it too far. And he can be very abusive. Mm-hmm.
When you say he takes it too far and he's abusive, what does that mean to you?
It could be small things and he'll still hit them. Like if they don't eat, like if they take their time eating, it'll make him mad and he'll hit them. And like scream at them to eat. Mm-hmm.
Has he ever hit you?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I try to say something about him hitting kids. His hands on me. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
He would like hit me. Mm-hmm. He would punch me.
About how many times do you think that's happened?
Couple.
Any since you've come to Kissimmee?
Yes.
How many times?
Thing. Here. So
Yeah, I can see it a little.
It's from being punched in my hand.
When did he do that?
It was like I don't know the exact date, but one time I said something about him hitting the kids. He would come on about with this shit and like it broke their skin. And I told him about this and he got mad and he
Is your hand, do you need medical attention for your hand?
It hurt me.
Is it okay if I look at it again? How long ago do you think that happened? Were you staying at the Knights Inn already, or were you at the other hotel?
At the Knights Inn and started at that hotel.
Yeah. Is that when everything started? And when did you move there again?
I believe it was late April.
Just like April? Had he ever used violence before you guys moved to the Knights Inn at the end of April? Have you ever become violent with you or hit you or?
Not like when we came up to Orlando, but living in where our old house was. He has moved finance.
Can you tell me about those instances?
He was just going to him. He moved it up. That I was cheating or something like that. I was pregnant. So when he came home, it was like he flipped up over me and he burst up around and he hit me. He punched me. He hit me. And then he said he was leaving, but he ended up not leaving. And then after I gave birth, I don't remember what we were arguing about. He hit me on it. My eye was very sore.
Did you go get medical attention for that? Did you see a doctor? Why not?
I was so scared. Yeah. Very could be very controlling sometimes.
Has he always been like that in your relationship? Yeah. How does that make you feel?
He's always afraid.
Are you still afraid of him? Yeah. When I kind of want to go back and talk about some of the kids and how he disciplines the kids. So I'd like to start with the youngest. Can you kind of tell me how he typically does he ever discipline?
At times, like he would cry, and he he would call it whining, but I always told him that baby doesn't cry for any reason. Baby doesn't whine for any reason. But with him, he always says that he doesn't. He's not gonna raise sissies. That. And he has took his hand and he hit.
Do you know how he got the mark on his eye?
That hit him.
Have you ever seen him hit him in the face or anything like that?
No, it was in his back.
When he hits him on his back, what does he use anything or?
He uses hands. He has these very huge hands in here.
What about the bruise on his chest? Have you seen that before? Before I showed you the picture the other day? No. Did Larry ever mention anything to you about acting out and him having to, or him hitting him or anything like that? No. What about it's? How about them? How does he ever have to discipline them?
Yeah, I've seen him move them on their butt a few times. He uses his hand.
What would he have to spank them for? Whoop them.
They're not eating.
Do they not like to eat?
They eat. It's just when they eat the same thing, often they don't like to eat it as much. So
Do you know? You have to forgive me because I don't remember. That has the bruise on her face. Do you know how she got that? When we had originally spoke, you had mentioned that maybe the sisters had hit each other. Do you think is that a possibility, or do you think it came from him? Is there a reason why your opinion on how that may have happened changed?
They do fight a lot, but
When was the last time you saw him? Saw him?
I don't know the exact date, but I remember him on my phone. And they were supposed to eat. They were supposed to be eating peanut butter jelly sandwich. And one of them, I can't remember exactly which, but she took one bite and she was eating slow. And then he screamed at her to eat. And they when they feel like they're afraid, they don't move. But she held the sandwich to her mouth and she made she was eating. And then he screamed at her to eat again, and then she didn't eat, and then he grabbed her over and he looked past with his hand.
Remember how long ago that was?
Probably like a week, 2 weeks.
Week or 2 weeks. Have you ever seen him discipline the twins in any other way? What about sorry.
With the boys, they need to say, we've not been raised in these cities. Or, his boys and the girls, like, BITC is just,
You can say the word, it's okay.
it just, it might be what you close fists and he would like punch them and he would like slap them as well.
Why would he do that?
He always used to say that growing up that he was raised by women and his mom and them used to do him the same way.
So let's talk about like specifically, how does he deal with specifically? I know you said like sometimes he hits the boys. Are you referring to all the boys or just some of the boys?
All the
The older ones or the
older
older
ones.
ones? Okay. So for you said that he sometimes punches him and things like that. Have you ever seen him use anything other than his hands?
Yes, the shoe.
The shoe? Can you tell me about when he's used the shoe?
Basically, I've seen him on the probably 12 with the shoe, especially, and then broke his skin on his bottom. And the other, like, it comes from being hit with the shoe. And the same spot, it strips the skin.
Wow. How long ago did he cause the marks on his legs? Did Larry cause the marks on his legs?
I'm not sure how long, but it was most likely recent.
Okay. What about the marks on his bottom?
It was probably within a week.
Within a week? Do you know? I know those pictures were hard to look at the other day, but do you remember looking at those pictures when we were talking about some of the injuries? Do you remember how he got any of the bruising on his face?
Well, sometimes they do like to fight, and
Who's they?
it was rebels. But, their dad, he likes to hit them a lot as well.
The day got hurt. When we first spoke, you mentioned that was doing something else. He wasn't laying with his siblings. Do you remember?
He had healing boat, so he's got heels in corner.
How long had he been in the corner? Do you know?
I'm not for sure how long. I had left it. I came back. I had to put no dress test. But, when I left, he was in there probably like, when I left, it was probably like 5 minutes then. And then I came back, he was still in the corner.
How long were you gone, do you think?
Well, I left twice. I had to go to like 2 different locations and then I came back and then like again. So I was probably gone first time, probably like 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
How long after you got home was it before Sergio got hurt?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
When you got home, it was still in the corner. Let's talk about how is disciplined.
The same way. He doesn't really like do much. At times he's in the bed. And when he does, he get a whooping. When they got the second way hit, he uses both fists as whooping.
Have you seen him, when you say he gets a whooping and he uses closed fists, does he only use a closed fist with him? Or what does a whooping look like for
Like he would like punch them or he had his hand slapped them.
how many times have you seen him give a whooping to
Probably a couple, 2 or 3 times.
here while you're up in Orlando or back home?
Up here.
Up here. But how long ago do you think?
Everything is like Within 2 weeks.
Let's talk about Sergio. I know we already talked about him a little, but what is when Sergio gets in trouble? What typically happens?
The same thing. He figures that he get hit because of the dad has hit him with the shoes before.
So he uses the shoe or he slaps him. For how long has that been going on?
This only 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Was this not normal, typical discipline style for Larry up until recently, or how did he used to discipline?
Usually he would put them in the corner. He'd like make them squat, like do like exercise moves and stuff like that.
What do you think changed?
Then he's usually on medication. He came right out of medication. Each week he think like, and then for you guys have been there.
Have you noticed a change in his behavior or his personality or
behavior.
what has changed, do you think?
He tells them and calls me a name a lot.
He calls you a name a lot?
At my name. He gets like very aggressive.
So you mentioned before that he doesn't sleep well. Does he normally sleep during the day or at night?
He doesn't sleep, but when he does sleep, it would be like probably like an hour. If he does fall asleep, it's like just resting his eyes.
Is it normal for him to just jump up out of bed if something happens?
He's always on the
So the day that Wednesday or Tuesday, you said he like jumped up out of bed. Did you know where Sergio was at when Larry jumped up out of bed?
He was in front of the dresser.
He was in front of the dresser, and Larry was in his bed. So then he jumps up out of bed. So I just want to go step by step. So you're in the bathroom. How long do you think you're in the bathroom? Okay, what prompts you to come out of the bathroom?
Because of him screaming so loud.
You say him, you mean
Larry.
Larry? Do you know what he was screaming at that point?
Like basically trying to find out what Sergio was drinking and water in the bathroom. So. He slept and we took a pull back. And then he made Sergio stand back up and then he threw his chest. And then after the second punch, Sergio, and he fell back. It was like, I was like, very painful. And usually, I walked over in that afternoon. He said that Sergio was fine, and then he took him to the bathroom, turned on the shower. And he came right back out, and he says to call it in minutes.
When you saw Sergio on the ground, was he bleeding or anything? What was he wearing? Do you remember?
He had on black pants, and he didn't have a shirt on.
No shirt on. Could you, when you carried him to the bathroom, could you see any marks on Sergio? Was Larry saying anything else as he took him to the bathroom? Did you ever go into the bathroom while Larry and were in the bathroom? No. How long do you think they were in there before he yelled for you to call 911?
He went in and he turned on the shower and he came right back out. And he told me a couple of seconds.
Did he have Sergio with him when he came out of the bathroom to tell you to call police?
He had him in his arm.
Do you know how he was holding him?
Yeah.
Was Sergio like alert at that point? Was Sergio talking or saying anything? No. Tell me what happened once so you call 911 and then walk me through what happened. So you're on the phone with 911 and what is Larry doing?
He was panicking. He was scared. He was screaming to call the police and he started to do CPR and he was like calling like trying to like look where. And he started doing CPR. So he was spitting with a lot of water. And he was like very afraid and he was screaming.
Was he just screaming or was he like yelling things?
He was yelling. He was like, Sergio, come on, my boy.
So then what happens?
He basically did CPR until until the people came to the door and he took over.
What happened when the police got there? So the police come to your door, right? What happens when the police come to the door? What is everybody doing?
They came into the room, the kids were out. They came into the room and they were trying to continue the CPR. And the kids were out. I believe also when I opened the door, Larry was still in panic mode when he had sat on the bed. They stayed onto the bed. They were trying to do the CPR. And he was on the bed and he was like calling Sergio's name and he was clapping. And he was like, save my son, save my son, save my boyfriend.
Okay, then what happens?
I remember they took him to the emergency truck and the guy tried to go with him and he told me that I couldn't go. And then when we went back to the room, he said to get the kids ready. We're going to all try to go to the hospital. And they told us that we couldn't leave him there. And then they separated me and the kids from him.
When the police got there, and before they got there, had you seen the injuries on? Did you happen to ask or any of the other kids, how they ever got their injuries? No. Did Larry ever tell you how they got their injuries?
No. He would like say when they like misbehaved here and here. Or like certain stuff that they did do. He told me, but they never said anything. And it was hard for me to like get them alone because he was always like correcting on his shoulder.
Have you ever expressed any of your concerns or told any of your family members about Larry's behavior?
Yes. During the course of being together, we stayed with his family, my family. So they've witnessed it before.
You hear the stuff with the kids.
I told my mom.
Did your mom ask why you wanted to come back to West Palm?
No.
We're talking about like marks and bruises and stuff. I noticed that some of your kids had scars, like scars on his chest. Do you know what those are from?
No, but most likely being hit with this shoe because it makes
Did Larry always use the same shoe?
Mm-hmm.
What did that shoe look like? A shoe?
It's a wooden shoe. It doesn't have the like straps and stuff. It's like just a bottom of the shoe.
Is it like a tennis shoe? Is it like a sole?
Like a sandal.
Like a sandal? Did he only ever use that one, or did he use other ones? Have you ever seen him? You mentioned that he was, hitting them hard enough that it was like tearing the skin. Have you ever seen the kids bleed after being hit by Larry?
A few times, yes, and he would like use hydrogen peroxide and stuff to clean it up and put Band-Aids on it.
You went like this with the hydrogen peroxide to see.
It's like a spray me.
And where's that normally kept?
It's everywhere, but probably in the bathroom. And helping drink systems.
Oh, would you say that when have you ever seen him make weed? No. What about the twins? What about
From whoopings, yes.
from whoopings? How many times do you think that's happened?
Okay. He has been with the shoe that they definitely they get hurt when they hit with the shoe.
And how do they respond to that? Or how does they respond to getting hit with the shoe?
He cried.
Would they ever bleed enough to, like, was it just a little bit of bleeding, or what was it?
Just a little.
Just a little? Has it ever made you bleed?
Mhm.
What happened?
And then we'll do it. I'm just in it. And so you're cut. And that was a lot.
Any other times?
Recently.
Did you ever feel that because of the whoopings at any point that any of the kids needed to go to the doctor?
Yes.
Is there any reason why you didn't try to take them to a doctor?
Every time I try to leave, he will take the keys. He was very controlling.
Was there one kid, or which kids do you think he was the hardest on?
Sergio.
Have you ever seen Sergio get hit to the point that, like, he lay down on his back this time, and he went like unconscious? Have you ever seen him go unconscious before? What about any of the other kids? Did the kids ever get blood on their clothing? Which kids?
It depends on, like, on your pants from your butt.
Ever have it on any other items of clothing?
On their shirts.
No. Do you know what size shirt and shorts wears?
3T.
3T. What about Serge?
3T.
You do have 5 kids that are still in the hospital. DCF is making sure they're safe right now, okay? Because obviously, fortunately, you're incarcerated, so I want to make sure that they're safe, and DCF does that. And they're working on making sure that they find a safe home, whether that's with family or whoever for right now, okay? And obviously, that's, and your mom is able to, make arrangements with Yami and stuff. If you could tell your kids anything, what would you tell her?
I had to look, and when I was going to try to get them out of the situation that
Why do you feel like you let them down? How come when the deputies first got there to help, you didn't tell us what happened?
I'm scared.
What were you scared of?
Larry.
What specifically, though, what made you scared of Larry?
I'm scared. Larry. I'm just very messed up with my kids.
What do you think would have happened if you would have told us?
I would have been arrested. I would have called somebody down and some do something.
What do you mean by that? Has he ever done that before?
That's not seriously.
In which way? Try.
One time, his best friend died, and my brother was in jail. She was to school. He had something to message to me. So we have that, and his best friend had it on there. And then my brother had something message with that something like that. And he said that he said it was like prayer to get a message from there. And he had told her, like, if you could, it's like, something him, like, it's some stuff, because he's in jail. And he was like, so it was never about turned down and revealed without not saying him shit. So we did ask him, I said, "How somebody would take the pain, such a thing."
What do you think he means by that?
We have someone hurting bad.
Yeah. Do you think he's capable of that?
His cousin just saying Jocelyn.
Is your brother? Your brother's still currently in jail? Yeah.
And so anyway, after that, I was like protective custody for myself and
So, like, what are you thinking? Kind of like on the movies, like witness protection stuff. We don't do that at the sheriff's office. But there is, like at the jail, I could, if you don't feel safe at the jail, we could put you in protected custody at the jail. If you don't feel safe there for any reason, he should have no contact at the jail. You guys shouldn't be able to talk or anything, so he shouldn't be able to threaten you or hurt you or try to intimidate you or anything. He is still currently confined. He is still at the Osseo County Jail, so he's not getting out. He has a bond like you do. But I mean, somebody has to go place that bond. Of course, I can never make any promises, and I don't ever want to make a promise to you that I can't keep. But we do our due diligence to make sure that everybody is safe. I'm just going to step out real quick, okay? Do you recognize this at all? What's that? The slide? Do you know, when you say like the slide, do you know what that, is this your slide? If you don't know where, was it for?
I thought it was also didn't fit any of us.
Does he ever use any other one besides this one? Just that one? Do you know what's on the bottom of that slide? Do you know who that could belong to? Which one? Do you think that this blood is from him hitting like a particular part of their body or on their butt? What happened to the clothes that have blood on them? Like if they bled onto their clothes, what happened to those clothes? So the clothes, they would still be in the room? If there were clothes that had blood on them, would it be safe? Would you say that, what do you think put the blood on those clothes? In your wounds? What type of, is this shoe hard or soft? It's hard. Have you ever seen the kids have an injury that would be big enough to cause this amount of blood? Do their butts bleed a lot? Mm-hmm. It's okay. And I appreciate your honesty. I really do. I know this wasn't easy. But you made the choice to call and say, I want to talk and I want to tell you my truth. And I have a lot of respect for you for that. I really do. Because I know that wasn't easy for you. That's a good step in the right direction. You know what I mean?
One last question we got for you. Do you ever remember Larry doing anything with their hands at any point? Larry.
So besides them having to put the palm of their hands out, right? Remember when you said Sergio would put his hands on you, he would use something to hit them? Does he do anything else with their hands at all?
Like maybe another type of punishment or anything?
What about their feet? No. I know those might seem like weird questions, but we just want to make sure we cover our bases and we get as much information as we can. You can, if you think of something else, you can always call me. Like, hey, I thought of something else I want you to know. I'll come pick you up. We can talk again if you want, okay? When Larry would, you said Larry would hit you. Were the kids ever present when Larry hit you?
Yeah, but they would be laying down. They make them lay down.
Yeah, so they weren't like watching. Listen, you don't deserve to be treated like that, and neither do your kids. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. You chose you, and you chose your kids today, which is more than I think you've been doing recently. I understand it's out of fear, but you got to understand today's the day that you chose to be a present mom. Okay? Today's the first day of the rest of your life. You don't deserve to be treated like that. No man has the right to treat you like that. It doesn't matter if you're the father of your children. You have self-worth. Okay, you have a bright future. If you want to go to be a medical assistant, that's huge. You're trying to make moves for you and your kids, You don't know what the future holds. Don't give up on your dreams. But today, you chose. Okay? And you should be proud of that, alright? You really should. Look at me. Kick your feet up on just a minute. Just not kick me, just get off. I just forgot to take people. I'm gonna be right back, okay? Grab your drink now.
It's my baby.
Well, yes, but, so there's gonna, because it's an investigation, and depending on what comes out of it, that's ultimately up to the state attorney's office as to who testifies or who doesn't, or who's needed to testify. I can't make any promises that you wouldn't. There's a strong possibility that you would. So, but that's something that's way later on down the road, okay? So, I just wanna make sure, that we kinda understand, how we got here today, okay? And, Natasha is
His auntie.
auntie, so what do you call her? Like your auntie too?
Anyway,
Yeah.
only auntie that I like with this, yeah.
Yeah. And then your sister Vanessa, they called me today and they said you would want to talk to me. And I originally went down there and you had said no, which is okay. And then I guess you called them and then they reached out to me and they said you wanted to talk. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I do want to talk to you, okay? But I want to make sure, I know I read these to you the other day. They're your rights. I just want to make sure you still understand them, okay? So I'm going to go through them one by one with you. And we're just going to make sure, I'm going to have you initial again, okay? Either yes or no and say yes. And then we can, sorry. Okay? You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good initial. Anything I'm going to ask for you? Anything you say may be used against you in court. Do you understand? You are entitled to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning. Do you understand? If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one, one will be provided before and or during questioning without charge. Do you understand? Can you sign right here for me again, Bianca? Today is 7/7/2022. The time is 9:07 p.m. Sign this too. So obviously, I'm investigating what happened to Sergio and the boys, and I was hoping that you could tell me, what happened to Sergio the other day.
I just caught him in the bathroom drinking water. And I saw him out of the bathroom. I was getting ready to use the bathroom. I saw him out the bathroom and I told him to go to the corner. His dad had jumped out of his sleep. And he stopped him from going. And he questioned him on what he was doing. And he punched him in his chest. Punched him in his chest like twice. And then when he came out of the bathroom, he threw on the floor and I screamed at him and someone has him. And he said, "Oh, but he said he's okay." And he took him to the bathroom and he turned on the shower. I guess like so he could put water to like shock him to like bait. And I had panicked and he walked right back out of the bathroom and he told me to call the ambulance.
Did you call 911, right? Did you see when you say who hit Sergio?
Yeah,
What's his name?
Larry.
Larry? Is that your boyfriend that you've been with a long time?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him hit Sergio?
I seen him punch him, yes.
Mm-hmm. And how many times did he punch him?
Twice.
Yeah.
And then he slapped him in his face. That was before the punches.
So he slapped him and then punched him, or punched him and then slapped him?
He slapped him and then he punched him. And then after one of the punches, after the second punch, Sergio fell backwards and he had like this sigh. And I started screaming, "What happened?" And I started screaming, "What happened?" And she picked him up and carried him to the bathroom. And he turned on the shower. And as he was walking to the bathroom, he said that Sergio was fine. And came back out and called the ambulance. And I called the ambulance.
When you say when that Larry carried Sergio to the bathroom, how did he do that?
Picked him up from the floor and had my hands.
Do you remember how he was carrying him?
And I could. Like he had his two arms and he carried.
Was Sergio saying anything at this time? No. Was Sergio still awake? No.
I heard like a faint sigh come from him. I know that something was wrong.
Where were all the other kids when this happened?
They were in a room, they were laying down.
Were they all laying down at?
In the room, daddy sleeping.
And which one was that again? The one closest to the door or to the bathroom?
In the bathroom.
By the bathroom. Is this the first time you've ever seen Larry hit Sergio or any of his siblings?
No, he does it often.
Yeah, can you kind of tell me about that?
When they do stuff that he feels like it's like when he feels like they're misbehaving, he hits them. And at times he definitely takes it too far. And he can be very abusive.
When you say he takes it too far and he's abusive, what does that mean to you?
It could be small things and he'll still hit them. Like if they don't eat, like if they take their time eating, it'll make him mad and he'll hit them and like prevent them to eat. If they pee in bed, he will hit them.
Has he ever hit you?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I try to say something about him being a kid with his hands on me.
What does that mean?
He'll like hit me and he'll punch me.
About how many times do you think that's happened?
A couple of, you know,
Any since you've come to Kissimmee?
yes.
How many times?
And here, I don't know if you can reach
Yeah, I can see it a little.
it's from being punched in my hand.
When did he do that?
It was like, I don't know the exact date, but the time I said something about him hitting my kids, he was the one in that position and like it broke their skin. And I told him about this and he got mad at me. He
Is your hand, do you need medical attention for your hand?
it hurt me more.
Is it okay if I look at it again? How long ago do you think that happened? Were you staying at the Knights Inn already or were you at the other hotel?
At the night scene and started at the time.
Yeah. Is that when everything started? And when did you move there again?
I believe it was late April.
It was late April. Had he ever used violence before you guys moved to the Knights Inn at the end of April? Have you ever become violent with you or hit you or?
Not like when we came up to Orlando, but living in our old house, he has really violent.
Have you ever seen him hit Sergio with anything other than a shoe in his hands?
At times we use about once.
What type of belt, do you know?
There was 2 belts, a leather belt, and then
How long ago, or how many times have you seen him hit with a belt? And was that down in West Palm or up here?
Here.
Up here? How long ago do you think? Do you know why he hit them or why he hit Serge with a belt? When he would hit him with a belt, would it ever leave any marks on Serge?
Not really. Like they would have like probably wipes.
Do you know where he would hit him with the belt? When he would hold his hands out, how would he hold his hands out? Palm side up. Have you seen him do that recently? Does he do that with any other kids? No. And we would hold his hands out. What would Larry do to Serge's hands? Use a belt and hit him. Would it ever leave any marks on his hands or anything?
His nails will be like brave numbers.
How long ago do you think the last time was that he did that, or that you saw him do it?
Like a little bit.
Over a month? It's gonna be pretty painful. Would Serge ever cry, or
He rarely cried.
would Serge ever say anything when Larry was hitting him or disciplining him?
No. Everyone.
Did he ever say anything? What about? How does it make you feel to know that your kids got hurt? Did Larry ever express any remorse? Like, it makes you feel bad. Did Larry ever
Yeah.
say how it made him feel?
Yeah. He always used to say that he has to stop, and he doesn't really mean to say it. My friend seen him cry about it before. Like 8 hours comes back to him not having his medicine. He needs to get his medicine.
Is he different when he's not on his medicine? No. Would he ever do anything like this when he was on his medicine? No. Has he made any attempts to get his medicine?
Yeah, we called a few places, but our insurance, they don't. It's like very hard to know. Just like takes our insurance okay.
What insurance do you have?
It's called Mary Health. Koreans.
Mary Hill. Do your kids have a pediatrician that they go to?
Janice Jones.
Janice Jones and Westmont. When was the last time they saw Dr. Jones?
Like late September.
In September. Was everybody healthy then? No issues? Have any of the kids been to any doctor up here for any reason? No. I'm just gonna step out real quick, okay?
You still feel your Pepsi?
Do you recognize this at all? What's that? The slide? Do you know when you say like the slide? Do you know what that is? This your slide? If you don't know where it was it for?
I thought it was they didn't pay any.
Does he ever use any other one besides this one? Just that one? Do you know what's on the bottom of that slide? Do you know who that could belong to? Which one? Do you think that this blood is from him hitting like a particular part of their body or on their butt? What happened to the clothes that have blood on them? Like if they bled onto their clothes, what happened to those clothes?
We didn't get a chance to watch it.
So the clothes, they would still be in the room? If there were clothes that had blood on them, would it be safe? Would you say that, what do you think put the blood on those clothes? In your wounds? What type of, is this shoe hard or soft? It's hard. Have you ever seen the kids have an injury that would be big enough to cause this amount of blood?
Blood?
Do their butts bleed a lot? How long ago was that? And that was, did that only happen to one of the boys, or did it happen to Sergio? Have you ever seen blood anywhere? Excuse me, anywhere in the room? No, not in the areas of her. And when he would give the kids the whooping, did he do it no matter where he was, or did he have a particular area in the room he liked to do it in?
No. You can be there. He was saying like it was impossible in time.
Was it just on the bed he would do that, or was there anywhere else? When we went through the room, we found, you mentioned before that you own a gun. What type of gun was that? Was it like a full Draco? Like, was it just small? I don't know much about Draco, so. A mini? How many guns do you own?
Just one.
Just one. Does Larry own any guns? No. If there were other guns in the room besides the mini Draco, which I should have found, where did you say it was at again? Closet. Closet. If there were any other guns in the room, were they yours? No. Is the mini Draco registered to you when you bought it? Do you know? I'm sorry. What? Do you know anything about a pistol in the room? No. Have you ever seen anybody with a pistol? Found a pistol in your room, so I was just wondering where that came from. What about if I found another rifle in the room that doesn't belong to you? Where do you think those could have come from? Have you ever seen Larry with either of those guns? No. Has he ever talked about owning any guns?
And he was waiting to turn 25 so he can use his license.
Why does he have to wait till he's 25?
When he was younger, he had gotten some child. I can't remember exactly what. And basically he wasn't able to possess until the 25.
Oh, he's like an adjudicated delinquent or whatever it's called.
Juvenile delinquent and village stuff like that. Also juvenile.
Oh, he's been charged with that before. Does it surprise you that there would be other guns in the room?
If there is, besides from one,
Has he ever touched your gun?
oh yeah.
Yeah. We're doing what?
Oh, so we haven't sold it.
When was that?
There.
Was that down in West Palm or up here? Has he touched your gun at all since he's been up here? Oh, does he know where you keep it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The other two guns that I found in the room, your DNA or anything wouldn't be on it because you haven't touched those, right? No. Okay. Well, if I go get a couple more pictures, could you show me which ones? You know, you're mentioning like the ones that kind of look like burns and things like that. Could you be able to tell me where some of those injuries are from? So let me go see if I can get some other pictures for you. Sorry, I just got a couple more questions, okay? I think we're good on looking at some pictures. I was wondering when I went and saw Sergio's day, because I did see he had some bruising on the inside of his wrists that were pretty big and dark. You know what that could be from? Have you ever seen him, Larry grab Sergio? Like that?
Yeah, I really like crashing. I'm glad for my hand. Picking him up that day.
Do you know where he grabbed him when he picked him up that day?
It was like 100 arms. And then we came back over to
I was just wondering. In Legend, when I saw Legend when we first met, he had some bruising on his face, like on his cheek and stuff. Do you know how he got those?
he the contractions.
I don't know. What about the injury to his eye? He had that. He has like a bleeding in his eye, like the redness.
Yeah, going back to falling back.
It's okay. And I appreciate your honesty. I really do. I know this wasn't easy, but you made the choice to call and say, I want to talk and I want to tell you my truth. And I have a lot of respect for you for that. I really do. Because I know that wasn't easy for you. That's a good step in the right direction. You know what I mean? You could have chose to stay quiet and you didn't. It took you a couple days, but that's okay. You ultimately chose to love your kids and protect your kids, and that's important. Okay. Just hang tight. I'm gonna make sure I don't have anything else for y'all to do, and then I'll get you back to the thing. Do you have any questions for me? It might take a little bit because you gotta get somebody to launch you out of jail, okay? But I know your family's working on it because when they called me earlier today, they said they were working on it. I don't know what working on it means, but that's what they did tell me they were working on it. They were trying to get hold of bondsmen and stuff, okay?
One last question we got for you. Do you ever remember Larry doing anything with their hands at any point?
Larry,
Larry.
So besides them having to put the palm of their hands out, right? Remember when you said Sergio would put his hands on you, he would use something to hit them? Does he do anything else with their hands at all?
Like maybe another type of punishment or anything?
their hands.
What about their feet? No? I know those might seem like weird questions, but we just want to make sure we cover our bases and we get as much information as we can. You can, if you think of something else, you can always call me. Like, hey, I thought of something else I want you to know. I'll come pick you up. We can talk again if you want, okay? When Larry would, you said Larry would hit you. Were the kids ever present when Larry hit you?
Yeah, but they were laying down.
So they weren't like watching. Listen, you don't deserve to be treated like that, and neither do your kids. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. You chose you, and you chose your kids today. Which is more than I think you've been doing recently. I understand it's out of fear, but you gotta understand today's the day that you chose to be a present mom. Okay? Today's the first day of the rest of your life. You don't deserve to be treated like that. No man has the right to treat you like that. Doesn't matter if you're the father of your children. You have self-worth. Okay, you have a bright future. You want to go to be a medical assistant? That's huge. You're trying to make moves for you and your kids, you know? We don't know what the future holds. Don't give up on your dreams. But today you chose. Okay? And you should be proud of that, alright? You really should. Because you know what? As this goes forward, your kids are going to know that today you stood up for them. Okay? Those kids are going to know that today you put an end to it, you stopped it, and you said no more. You're going to fight for them, you're going to fight for you. They may not know it right now, right? But they're going to know, maybe when they get older or whatever, that today, Bianca Blaise not only them, but herself. Okay?
Will I ever be able to get my kids?
That's not up to me. I don't have the authority to make that decision, but the Department of Children and Families does look at things like this, you know. They have to do their own investigation and they're going to look at, you know, what is mom going to do? Can mom protect them? And things like that. But you actually met one of the investigators today. She came and spoke to you, and she's actually going to be handling the case, so you guys will be able to communicate with her throughout the whole process. It's not going to be a short process, okay? But don't give up hope. Okay? Remember, today's the first day. Okay? Don't ever let anybody else silence your voice, all right? You promise me that much? You promise?
Yes.
Just give me a few minutes, okay? Hey, Bianca, hold on. When was the last time that Larry hit you?
It was like long ago.
How many? Week, 2 weeks, a couple days?
Probably a few days before it happened.
Yeah, do you remember what it was over?
So it's something about the kids and how he is going
And where did he hit you?
he put me
In your hand, and that's what caused it?
I used my hands to block my face.
What was he trying to hit you with?
His hands.
Listen, you spoke up today, okay? I'm gonna charge him with that shit, okay? I'm gonna fight for you, okay? And this is the first step. So I'm gonna get you a domestic violence pamphlet. I'm gonna get you something for Marcy's Law, and what that does is nobody can know that you were the victim of domestic violence, okay? I'm gonna charge him with it, okay? Because nobody has the right to hit you, okay?
Okay.
Okay? It's okay. I'm gonna fight for you, and I'm gonna fight for your kids, okay? And this is gonna be the first step. It may not seem like a lot, okay? But I'm charging his ass. He ain't ever gonna put his hands on you again, okay? Or those kids. Okay? So, deep breath. Wanna go to the bathroom and wash your face? Water on your face? Want a cold rag? Sure. Can you, if you tell me about, are there any other specific times that you remember where he's put his hands on you while you guys have been at the night sim?
This is like the way he's like, and I don't know if you like do it every time, like so.
Do you want medical attention for it? Do you need it?
No, it doesn't hurt anymore. But like when he was punched,
He was trying to punch you when he hit your hand, right? Because you were trying to speak up for your kids.
and from anyone, like, but
Were you in the hotel room?
stuff, yeah.
Were you in the hotel room when that happened? Are you okay if I try to take some other pictures of your hands to see if I can show the discoloration and all that? While we do that, partner and I are going to work on some paperwork because you can't. Can you, before that incident, a couple days before Serge got hurt, Serge passed away, do you remember any other incidences that stick out to you?
With me, I tried to not like say irritate him. But he has
Today it ends. So I'm going to go get you that paperwork because I want to make sure that you understand that you have rights too, okay? These are different rights. Okay, these are going to be your rights as a victim of domestic violence, okay? So just give me a few minutes, all right? Can you raise your right hand for me? Bianca, do you swear and affirm that everything you told me today is the truth, the whole truth?
yes.
Okay.
Baby. The bathroom.
You can go to the bathroom. Give me 2 seconds. Actually, before that, can you think of the bathroom?
Sure.
Because
Bianca, you mind signing this piece of paper for me? All it is the picture of the sandal that you had described, and said was the one that Larry was using to. Would you mind just signing that for me and leading it? Somebody else did it. Okay, we're gonna get that information, okay? Make sure you finish that Pepsi before you go, okay?
Miss Bianca, how are you? Okay. So this right here is your information packet about being a victim of domestic violence. This is a request of confidentiality under Marcy's law. As a victim, you have the option to keep your identity from certain public records. So if you want to sign this, this will give you that confidentiality. You're going to sign right where it says victim, okay? You need to hold on to all this. This will go with you back over to the jail, okay? This is the incident number related to it. You can leave them here and put it.
Hey, Bianca, do you have any questions for us? We're gonna get you on back, okay?
Do you know what time they stop letting like the inmates use the phone at the jail?
I don't, but they might let you use it in booking, but if not, first thing in the morning you'll get to. Is there somebody you want to call? Who would you like to call?
Sister.
I can let you make like one quick phone call. You just want to call and give them an update? Okay. I gotta keep it on speakerphone. Is that okay? What's the phone number?
561.
Please leave your message for 56175. Wait.
Okay, girl.
You alright? We're gonna head back to corrections, okay? You wanna stand up for me? I'm gonna put the cuffs back behind your back.
No. You guys want your cuffs back and I'll put mine on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you need to fix your pants or anything, you can go in the bathroom. That would be the time to do it. Put your hands like your brain will be a little bit more comfortable.
Bianca, you got my number, so if you think of anything else or anything else you want to add, you can call that number and I'll come down and talk to you or have your family call me, okay?
Cool.
Hi, Bianca, come on with me.
Thanks to the surviving children who bravely spoke up, the work of investigators, and the incredible work of the detectives in obtaining admissions from Bianca during her interrogation, Bianca eventually became a state witness. Justice was served for a child who died as a result of a horrifying murder done by his own father. Sergio never got a chance to grow up and enjoy his life, but now his father 25-year-old Larry Jonathan Rhodes Jr. will be spending the rest of his life in a Florida prison. Thanks to Bianca's testimony and other evidence, a jury found him guilty as charged, with convictions for the murder as well as for the abuse of the other children. And in April of 2025, he was sentenced to life in prison. Bianca will also be punished for her role in what happened to the children. She took a plea deal with the murder charge reduced to a manslaughter charge. She will be sentenced in the near future and faces up to 40 years in prison. This is a heartbreaking reminder of why it's so important to report signs of abuse. If something doesn't feel right, say something. Your voice might be the one to save a life. Thank you for watching. Hopefully we eventually receive more details about Bianca's side of this case. This was Sully on Deep Dive True Crime and Mentor Lawyer Justice Network. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts on the video in the comments below.
The deposition concluded at 2:10 p.m. Thank you for watching today's deep dive. If you found this case interesting or have any thoughts, feel free to leave a comment below. Remember, this community thrives on smart and respectful discussion. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay on track with our new case videos. We cover new details, court hearings, interviews, interrogations, and more. This is Maya with Deep Dive True Crime and Mentor Lawyer Justice Network, and I'll see you all in the next video.